now, it seems like judgment is going downhill. Be the opposite. The Pursuing Excellence podcast is built on the command standard and designed for one reason: to make you a better leader, a better person, and to go make a difference in the world. Let's go. Welcome to episode 3 of the Pursuing Excellence podcast, hosted by Command Standard. I'm Chris Roundtree, and today we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and it's something that I believe is not spoken of highly enough in this world. We do know that there is a difference between being a brand new employee at a company working in, say, the mailroom versus the CEO has been working there for 29 years and has worked their way all the way to the top of the ladder. Here's the reason why there's a big difference in pay. They both have 24 hours in the day. One has more experience than the other, of course, because they've worked their way up. But the real difference in their pay, the real difference why that is so drastic and dramatically spaced out, it's not because one is a better decision maker than the other. Yes, experience can help, but they can both make decisions, right? If I ask both of them, would you like steak or chicken? They'll be able to tell you. They can make decisions. That's not the problem. It's the totality of the circumstances. One of them, if they make a bad decision, maybe a piece of mail gets rerouted to the wrong place. Not the end of the world. The other one, the CEO, if they make a bad decision, it could be possibly catastrophic. The entire company can go down just because of one poor decision by one person in that position. With that being said, I wanted to spend this episode talking about judgment. Judgment is going to be the big differentiator, however you say it. It's going to be the one thing that separates you from everybody else. In a world where it seems like morals have decayed, in a world where it seems like everything is put on the back shelf that should be important and everything that's not important is brought forward, in a world where you can be a sports athlete and make millions of dollars, but you can go save lives in public safety and not even make maybe $2 million your whole lifetime, right? Serving 40 years in a public safety role. To me, that's crazy. It should be the opposite way, but that's what people value in society. And so we're going to look at a few things. We're going to look at what people value, and we're going to look at the judgment that you bring into it and why you are stuck where you're at and how to overcome that. But first, one of my favorite things is there's some deep quotes. In fact, this is a quote that I read to one of my clients today, and I think I'm still going to be thinking on this for a week or two because it's just so deep. So here's the quote. Let me read it for you by Naval Ravikant. It's Navalravikant. It's out of this book right here. It's a book I'm reading through right now. 10X is easier than 2X. So 10X is easier than 2X. And the idea behind that is that people who 10X, who put in the effort to go to the next level, to the next step, not just linear, like slowly approaching it, but people who actually want to go to that next step. It's the same effort. It's just, do you want to stay where you're at and slowly move, or do you want to make that next big jump? And it takes judgment to do that. It takes experience. It takes understanding to make that jump. So let's get to the quote. In an age of infinite leverage, judgment is the most important skill. That is so true. In the age that we're at right now, with AI, with technology, with everything that we have at our fingertips, with all the resources available, there's never been a time like this before to have such leverage. When I built websites, which I did 10, 15, something years ago, I had to hard code in CSS, PHP if I wanted that, HTML, Java, JavaScript. You had to hard code all that in. And maybe you could find some templates somewhere, And I did. I built a template database so that when somebody wanted a new website, I didn't have to rebuild the entire thing, but I had to build it from scratch. It could take me weeks to build a really good website. I remember the first website that I built that had a login back end type of component to it. I actually created users in a database, gave them a password. They had a login, built I think it was amazing for me at the time, built a login, forgot password type of thing. It took weeks. I can get on AI right now using a platform such as WordPress, and within about 30 minutes, I can have a full website completely built for you. It's insane the amount of leverage that we have today, with everybody having leverage at their fingertips. Truly, and I'll tell you again, truly, judgment is going to be the one skill that is going to separate you from everybody else. Poor judgment or good judgment, it'll reveal your character faster than anything else. I think that's also what we have in our day and age, is that it's harder to almost hide behind a curtain, because there's so much out there, so much social media and video and what's going on. Not that it can't be done, but the expectation is that you are now on some sort of platform. The expectation is that you're doing something. Not for everybody. There's jobs out there that don't have that. But if you want to get to the next level, I can tell you as a business owner, one of the hardest things that I've had to do is it's not that I teach people leadership. It's not that I coach people and implement the leadership, the 4 laws of high performance, what I have. That's no longer good enough. It's no longer good enough for me to just say, this is what I do. If you want to get better, if we want to build better humans, if we want to redefine the standard, pursue excellence, and achieve more, then come follow me, see what I'm doing. Let me guide you through this. I'll be your expert, all this other stuff. That's all gone. People can AI, how do I become a better leader? People can then go in and ask, what questions should I ask myself? Or what questions should I ask you, AI, to become a better leader? And it will literally ask the questions that you're supposed to ask it and to give the responses. It's all crazy. We have so much technology and everything in our hands. The people who are going to win are the people who use the best judgment. I'm very convinced about that, because here's what I also know. In the midst of having all of this technology and all of this leverage, so to speak, around us, there is still a huge need for human connection. I wish I would have taken a video of what I experienced. We just had 4th of July, and I was standing in the middle of this just massive crowd. And this is what I noticed. Yes, there's phones. Yes, there's food trucks and speakers going and a big screen TV, or a few of them. And there's technology involved, right? It's convenience, makes our lives easier, entertainment. But more than that, more than any of that, what I really noticed is that humans were starving for human connection. Some of them not starving, maybe they have it all along, but everybody was there to meet up with somebody, to find their group, to fit in. Humans were built for connection. And so, just like the quote says, in an age of infinite leverage, judgment is the most important skill. The way that you are able to use judgment as a testament of your character or not is how people are going to gravitate towards you or not. And that's what it should be used for at this point. How do we create that human connection in the midst of all of this? Here's a few more quotes. I'm going to quote one that I thought I would never quote before, but I'm going to go for it. Before you judge somebody, walk a mile in his shoes. Eminem, or Marshall Mathers, is the one who said that. Very true. We're so quick to judge other people. We should not judge people by their peak of excellence, but by the distance they have traveled from the point where they started. Henry Ward Beecher said that. What an amazing quote. All right. Not how good you are where you got to, but how far did you have to come along? Some people have to come along a lot further than others, right? Some people were born with absolutely nothing. They had no expectations. They had no parental figures that guided them or anything else, and they rose above. and they went further than anybody else. That is an amazing story and testament, right? And some people I know are given everything and they squander and waste it away. In fact, to be honest with you, I think the best judges of character are people who have had to work harder than anybody else, who have had to figure it out, who have had to understand what is the next thing that I've got to look for, because I've tried it 10 ways and it doesn't work. And finally, the 11th way works. And now they've created a new method that is more efficient than everybody else. And so they get ahead. Sometimes being put in a position where you're the underdog, that's a good place to be. It gives you perspective. People who judge others tell more about who they are than who they judge. Donald Hicks. Absolutely. If you want to sit there and judge, what it's really telling is, what are you concerned about with other people? What is wrong with you that you have to place that on other people and expect that out of them? Should never expect anything out of people you know nothing about. And here's the deal. I love this idea. I've seen people do this multiple times. They will sit there and look at somebody and go, why would you do that? Well, most people are trying to do the best they can with what they have. They're just using their experience, their knowledge to do what they can. And so for you to say, why would you do that? What it means is that either they don't have the experience you have, or you could be wrong. Maybe they're doing it because there's a reason you don't see. But to judge people on the experiences you have is wrong. If you're going to judge them on the experiences they have. And we seldom, rarely, if ever, get in other people's shoes to do that. Okay, to bring this all back full circle, what I want to say is that we are in a society full of leverage. All right, I'm speaking into a camera here. I've got technology going on. One man show on this whole thing. I don't have anybody else in here set up with me. I've had to figure this out on my own, but I'm able to leverage the computers and the lights and the microphone and everything to bring you this podcast. Whether it's good or not, I'll let you be the judge of that, but I'm able to bring this to you. When I go speak in front of crowds of people in my classes, I will set up a camera in the background. I'll put a mic on me, and I've got my iPad. I've got it all running, and I can run that all by myself. I'm able to leverage that. I don't need 2 or 3 people in there, right? When I bring it here and I get all of that and I put it together, I have to be a judge of how much time do I spend doing that? What does that look like? How can I make this work? Is there more prioritized things that I need to be spending my effort into? So many decisions you have to make through the day. We have every tool available. We're able to leverage all this stuff. But those who are successful, those who are going to take it to the furthest to make something out of it, are the ones who are able to not only get the tools with the leverage, but use the best judgment to get there. So that's what I want to end with on today's episode. I want to encourage you to seek wisdom. In fact, read Proverbs in the Bible. So many great verses about wisdom. Proverbs basically says, seek wisdom above all else, and then everything will be kind of added to you. That's the place that you're going to find where your purpose is and be able to fulfill that. Judgment is important. The human connection is important. Moving forward with leveraging everything that we have. And I keep looking around because that's what I'm looking at, all these tools in front of me, my phone that's sitting here. Leverage things for the human connection. Use your judgment, use your wisdom to figure out how to leverage this for a human connection moving forward. My fear is we're getting further away from that, and we're getting closer to a transactional experience in life. Don't want people to only have that, because you're going to feel isolated and alone when all it is your machines that are around you. And maybe there's some people out there who love that, but I'm telling you, I've been in enough crowds. People gather in places. Why? Why is it during FIFA, which is going on right now? Why is it that people aren't even showing up to the stadiums? They're showing up to the state of Texas and the city of Dallas to a fan meetup that's not even at the stadium. They're flying from overseas, paying thousands and thousands of dollars to show up here that's not even at the stadium. Why do they do that? Because it's connection. They want to be connected to something. So if you want to be successful, take the advice that Naval Ravikant gave us. In the age of infinite leverage, judgment is the most important skill. We have leverage everywhere. If you want to learn how to leverage things, just Google it. Okay, so leverage is not the problem. Judgment is. And looking at societal standards and norms and where we're at right now, it seems like judgment is going downhill. Be the opposite. Be the good. Use your judgment wisely. Use it to create success. Use it to create positive human connection. All right, you guys be good. I appreciate you giving me time. I'm still learning this whole podcast thing out. Again, trust is something that I want to build with you through authenticity, through transparency, through vulnerability. Me learning this podcast stuff is one of those steps. And I'm just looking forward to where this is going to take me. Some of the guests that we're going to have on doing the Beyond the Book. A new thing that I came up with. So comment below if you want to see this. Every time I teach a class, I always have, do I have it handy? No, I don't have it handy right there. But I always write down notes. So I think I'm going to do an episode called Beyond the Class. I just made that up, but I like that name. And what it is once I teach the class, I'm actually going to ask individuals in the class if they would give a quick on-camera interview. And then I'm going to go through the things that I learned from that class, because I learned through every class. Even if I've taught it 100 times, I still learn through it. New things that I've learned or thoughts that I've had, throw them on camera, what their thoughts were on it, and then throw it back to you guys. Again, just another way that I can provide more information and just make you better humans and better leaders. All right, your job now. Hopefully you can be a little bit inspired to use judgment wisely to redefine the standard, pursue excellence, and achieve more. We'll see you out there. P.S. I like to do one take. In all transparency, it's one take. But I forgot to add something on to the end of the podcast here, so I want to do it right now. And that is to ask you to subscribe to the channel or follow or like, comment, all of those things. You can find us on Instagram, LinkedIn. Where else am I at? TikTok, YouTube. What we're trying to do is get the YouTube channel to over 1,000 subscribers. Instagram just hit over 1,000 subscribers. So followers, 1,000 followers. My ask of you is also on the podcast. Want to grow that as well. Think there's a lot of value we can bring to the world and would love for you to be a part of that. Appreciate you guys listening this far. Looking forward to what we're going to achieve in the future. I hope you guys are inspired to go pursue excellence. All right, go get it.